Well, if the 2016 contest is any indication, about 500,000 people are expected to vote in the New Hampshire primary.
But that may be where the comparisons to the last election end. As I found out in Durham, a lot's changed since the last presidential race, namely the voters.
The Juicery is a rare politics-free oasis in Durham, New Hampshire. Customers know the candidates and that this year's primary is a battle. But the only spin here is coming from behind the counter.
I care a medium amount about politics.
Giovanni Roseborough represents one group of new New Hampshire voters, people who moved here after the last election. And right now, voters like her are in demand.
The Elizabeth Warren people are trying to find you. The Bernie Sanders people are trying to find you, especially on this campus. There's like a lot of people everywhere.
Courting another group of new voters who just turned 18.
I was 2 days too young in the last presidential election, though, so when that finally comes, I'm super excited for that.
This population has changed significantly.
UNH professor Ken Johnson's new study is a deep dive into voter demographics.
What did your study tell you about new voters in New Hampshire?
Well, it told us that there was a lot of new voters in New Hampshire.
Almost 20% of the 2020 primary voters didn't live in New Hampshire or weren't old enough to vote 4 years ago. And there are a lot of newcomers. Only a third of New Hampshire residents 25 and older were actually born here.
Only about 5 or 6 states have more people who were born outside the state and now live in the state.
And with all these changes in New Hampshire, Professor Johnson says here's the takeaway. If you think looking to the 2016 election is going to give us an indication what happens Tuesday, think again.
They're not talking to the same people that they were 4 years ago or 8 years ago.
And the young people the candidates are talking to are eager to be part of the process.
It's definitely exciting to vote for the first time, I'd say, yeah.
We're the new generation and we have the ability to make a change. So I think, yeah, it definitely is important.
Really encouraging to see a lot of student involvement.
The effect of that student involvement could be a key factor in the nation's first primary.
It doesn't take much to change what happens in this state. It's a small state. And so, a few thousand votes one way or another can make a difference between who wins and who doesn't.
All right, so who are the voters moving to New Hampshire? Well, Professor Johnson says the largest group of migrants is from Massachusetts. They're in their 30s and 40s with kids, slightly higher incomes, and with more education than the general population. And they tend to lean, David, a little bit to the left.
And it's interesting because the professor there is saying that it doesn't take a lot to change the vote. We all remember in 2016, Hillary Clinton beat President Trump by about 4,000 votes.
A razor-thin margin.
Yes.
So true.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
Good story.
we'll see what happens.